So today I'm going to show you how to make some of these. You may have seen them before. They're origami stars, but I have a little twist for mine where I make them as wishing stars. So I'm going to show you my process on how to make them, and hopefully you want to make them too. So here we go. Let's make some wishing stars. I'm going to start with the paper I'm using. That's Astro Bright Charisma paper, item 20008. It is a 24-pound weight, and I'll be using solar yellow because I am doing stars. So first we'll start off with cutting the paper into the right size. The paper starts off as 8.5 by 11, and what I would like to have is I would like to maintain the actual width of the paper because that's going to become our length. So that's going to be the 8.5, and I'm going to cut them into 1/2 inch strips. So right now we've got, again, an 11-inch paper, and I'm going to start cutting it into, oh, sorry about that. I'm going to start cutting them into 1/2 inch strips. So we will move over here. This is just the Amazon Basics paper cutter, and I will link everything in the description below. So you should have a strip like this. I'm going to cut the rest of this into strips, and then I will show you how to fold it. Okay, so now we've got our pieces of paper all cut and ready to go. But to make them into wishing stars, we'd have to add a wish. So take your pen, and in this last portion of the paper here, you can write your wish in. So for mine, I will write, I wish to have the best year of my life. And obviously your wish can be different than my wish. But once your wish is done, you are ready to actually fold this up into a star. So the first thing we're going to do, if you take your piece of paper and you fold it over into a loop, and then actually cross the pieces of paper over top of each other, then you've got this sort of loop section here. Take that tail end, that little bit that's left of where you wrote your wish, and tuck it in to the loop. Okay? Now you're going to take your tail end of the paper here, and you're going to slowly pull on it just to tighten this section up. And what you're going to find is that you've got this shape at the end of a pentagon. So you can see that pentagon shape now. Okay, now this tail end of the paper is what we're going to be using to fold the rest of the star. You don't want to actually fold it really tight, but you want it to still have creases to make it look like the pentagon shape. So you take this tail end, and you'll see there's one side with this little V and another side that is straight. So I always fold towards the straight side, and you'll notice that the paper will actually fold in the direction it wants to on its own. So this one's following this seam here, so we will let it do that. Then we turn the paper, fold again, and now you can see it's following this side, so we will let it do that. And you want to keep folding and allowing it to fall against the seam that it wants until we get to the end of our piece of paper. So there's a little bit of a tail here, but what we want to do is actually tuck this last little tail end underneath the paper there. And if it doesn't line up perfectly, you can see that it's got this little bit here. What I like to do is just fold that bit underneath. So I just take that little bit there and fold it under. If you need to, you can even take something like, a pair of scissors or something, and just push that little seam underneath. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just to make sure that it's under. And then, now you've got this pentagon shape, right? Okay, so this is the reason why we didn't want to fold it too tight, because at this point in time, what you have to do is actually push in each of these sides. So I end up holding usually two sides with one space in between. so that I can get my fingers together on these last two edges. And then I try and push in towards the center with my nails, okay? And it should kind of pop up a little bit, just like that. And then I turn and do the same thing here. And now I'm basically just putting pressure on the new crease, not so much the old one. Okay, pressure again, just on the new crease. And pressure again. And now you see you got that star form. And then you can push it in however you need to make it look even to your eye. And there you have it. A nice little star shape with your wish contained inside. Now what you can do with this is actually take it and put it into a bottle or a jar or something like that, where you can put your wishes together, especially if you're doing this as a group thing, as a family, as a class, whatever it may be. You can put your wishes together in that one area, maybe even use it sort of like a time capsule and go back and look at your wishes at the end of the year or in a couple years. But it's just a fun and creative way to be able to take something that you might write down or something you want to remember, a wish that you have, and leave it in a nice little form like this, and then be able to come back to it later and say, hey, you know what? That wish did come true. Or it's so interesting how my wishes have changed in the amount of time where whatever I wished for at that point is not what I'm wishing for now, but it gives you that perspective on your life. So that's how you make a little paper star and how you add a wish inside that is waiting there for you to open it up one day and read it again. I hope that you enjoyed this, and yeah, that you go ahead and give it a shot yourself. So enjoy and have fun doing it. Thanks for watching. Love you guys.